to Meet the Biz. Today we have a wonderful woman. She is a producer, a vocalist, a manager. She's a teacher of social justice, Penni Wilson, and she has a master's degree in television, film, media studies, focusing on critical studies. And then she would go on to teach media studies at the California State University in Los Angeles. I met this beautiful woman when seeing the incredible show Magic 8 Ball, starring and written by the talented George Steeves, who has been on Meet the Biz, which Penni produced with her sister Crystal. There's so much about this wonderful woman, and I'm so glad she's here today. She whenever I'm around her, she's like a healer. She brightens my day. So everybody, welcome the beautiful, the wonderful Penni Wilson.
Hi, David.
Hey, how you doing?
What's going on, baby? I'm good. What's happening?
I just there it goes. I just felt that love. It's so amazing how you have that ability, even through the screen of the Zoom, to just shoot out that love. You're all about love.
I'm really grateful and honored that you asked me to be a guest. And I love our business, but I have my critiques.
Yeah.
But I just love the art.
Yeah.
The vocal work, the acting, the writing, the directing, the producing, all of that. Which I've had my fingers in, on a certain level in quite a few things in the business, and to be able to come on and share with your wonderful attendees is an honor. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. And you've been doing it since what, age 14?
I was 14 years old when I was in my first recording group. Well, first of all, my sister was an incredible singer as a kid.
Yeah.
And I was a bookworm, but I was kind of a nerdy kid. And she was an incredible singer. She'd stand at the table and sing. And when my mom's company would come, they would always give her money.
Really?
So I said, what am I going to do? I got to do something.
Yeah.
So I started doing background singing. I started harmonizing with her, and eventually we put a group together. I was always primarily in the background until much later.
Right.
But yeah, we did our first record when I was 16.
16. Oh my God! To have a first album and the feel of an album,
well, it was actually a single.
Oh, well,
it was a single back in those days.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old 45. That's right.
I still have my 45s. I can't. That's one thing I can't get rid of, the 45s and the albums.
No, me either. I have my albums. I have my 45. I have my cassette tapes.
Oh my gosh. Well, and through your singing, I mean, you and your family as a singing group has opened for and performed with Barry White, Diana Ross, Lou Rawls, and so many more. I mean, what is it like to start at that age and go through the business?
Well, we were a very poor family. We lived in the projects, and my mother did this as a single parent.
Yeah.
And so when we first started, it was mommy on her hands and knees in the bathtub, washing our clothes, getting starch and starching them so we would look good. We never thought we'd end up with a label. We were just doing record hops back then. They called them record hops.
Yeah.
With this DJ named Hal Brown out of Pittsburgh, which is our hometown, and we were doing really well. And eventually, we ended up with this signing with a small label out of Washington D.C. And I'll tell you, the first time I heard my song on the radio, I was like, ah! I was like, ah! It was so cool. It was really, really wonderful.
Yeah.
It's such an exciting feeling to hear your music on the radio. And even today, when I hear like the songs that we did for certain artists on the radio that we did backing vocals for, I still get a thrill from that.
Mm.
So, but as a youngster, it was really good, and we were able to kind of supplement the income for my mom, who was kind of struggling at that point.
Right. Well, like you mentioned, I mean, you have your hat in everything. I mean, you have produced, I mean, you co-managed one of your family members, your niece,
Yeah,
correct?
I did.
How
For there
is,
was a while,
yeah,
huh?
what made you decide to do that? What made you say, you know what, I'm going to be a manager. I'm going to help out the family,
Well, not really. I didn't really want to do that. It's just
right?
at that point in life, um, we were newly in California, and because I was the oldest between me and my sister and I I wanted to have my hands in what she was doing because she was a young person,
Yeah.
and I wanted to just make sure that she was taken care of to the best of my ability. And I was very rough around the edges. Um, I had to learn much more than I knew at that point, but I did as much as I could, and we did some great things. And one of the things that I'm very proud of that we did um, while I was involved with her management is she opened for well she no she became the first African American to
Mm.
star as Eponine in Les Miserables on Broadway,
Oh, oh, wow.
which I thought was phenomenal. And I was a part of that because I had been, and Richard Alexander,
Oh, yes.
and
Amazing.
I had been talking with Richard for about a year or so
Yeah.
and nurturing her to think in that direction. And eventually we got her to do it because she was so busy doing her albums, and she had just released an album. She was like, I don't know if I want to go to Broadway. And I'm like, you got to go to Broadway. So she ended up doing it, and it was one of the highlights, I think, of my involvement in management.
I bet it was. I mean, I'm hearing it now, and it's like, oh, I'm going to New York. Where is it playing? I want to see her.
I saw Shanice in that play for, I think, 10 times. I went and watched it. It was just so rewarding.
I have to
Yes.
say, when you go, from personal experience, when I go on Broadway and there's somebody who I know, like Jamie Brewer, our dear friend, is going to be on Broadway again this year. But when I saw her when she was on Broadway the first time, and I sat in the second row, I was just bawling because it's that connection, that feeling that you have of a family member, you could say. Um, it's just it's incredible. Um, and what's so amazing with you as well, I mean, you have gone on to produce. I mean, when we first met, I was going to see George in his show, Magic 8 Ball, and you were there, and that's where I first met you and your sister. And you had produced a show, which is now a documentary, My Life with Asperger's.
Yeah, I was we had met uh George through some friends of ours.
Yeah,
Um the children of a Grammy winning group called the Emotions. One of the sisters' daughters went to school
right.
with him, and we met him that way. And at some point, he had written this play, and he wanted to get it. He wanted to have it directed, and was working with this one woman who couldn't stay with him on this. So he
Mm,
came to see Crystal and me and asked us would we direct it. Well, first he wanted us to produce it because he knew that we could fill a house.
right.
But then it ended up where we ended up co-directing it. And this was my first endeavor in directing. And I don't know, I'm sure when George came on, you found out that he won, that the play, and he won several Fringe Awards.
Right.
He won 3 Hollywood Fringe Awards. He won a North Hollywood Fringe Award. And then he went and got Pick of the Fringe in Edinburgh, Scotland.
Oh,
And we were like, for our first endeavor and his first endeavor, I mean, we made magic. And you
yeah.
saw it.
It was stunning, and he has this essence about him that you just want to look at him and take him in.
Yes.
and through your directing, it gave that magic about it, magic 8 ball.
That's
But
it. That's it.
what about him? What about this show made you say, okay, yeah, we'll produce, we'll direct?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I was very hesitant
Yeah,
at first because he had already planned to do the Hollywood Fringe, and I think we had like 2 months. And when he told me 2 months, I was like, 2 months? Are you crazy? But we ended. I'm like, I don't think so. But my sister said, "Come on, Penny, we can do it. We can do it."
yeah.
So we ended up doing it. And George has Asperger's syndrome,
Hmm.
and there was an adjustment period for us to understand.
Yeah,
And once we understood and we were able to find a real clear communication with him, he was very difficult because he's very focused. When he wants to do something, he wants to do it. That's
yeah,
the way it is. So once we were to say, look, George, if we're directing, you have to trust us.
yeah,
Now you got to believe in what we're trying to do. And he finally got to that point, and it took a little wrestling with him, but he got to that point, and we were able to make magic.
yeah.
So it was a very, very great experience. One of the experiences of my life that I'll always remember and treasure.
Uh, I mean, I have listed so many things here that you have done, and your family was part of a reality show that was on the Oprah Winfrey Network. Um,
Yes, the my niece Shanice and her husband Flex. Flex is an actor.
yeah,
Um, they had the reality show for 3 years on the O Network, and I made several guest appearances on that show. Um, but it was at first I was really nervous when I found out they were going to do this reality show because I was like,
yeah,
I teach media criticism. I am very, very, uh, I'm very, what should I say, conscious of what kind of representation
right.
someone is putting forth to the culture. And so I was a little nervous, but they stayed within the family integrity.
Right.
So I
Well,
was very pleased.
and it's scary on that in reality TV because you have to trust the editor as well because who knows what they're going to put together and how they're going to put it together. Um,
Yeah, they did a great job.
yeah.
They did a great job. Unfortunately, you didn't know about it, and I didn't meet you until afterwards. But another thing I want to say is through doing the work with George, I got to meet you, and that was an honor. And I'm so happy that we've been able to stay in touch.
Well, that's so interesting. I needed that right now. You have those days that you just go, what am I doing on earth kind of thing. And I think by being in this business as well, we have those highs and we have those lows in life, and we have that in life in itself. But we were talking over the last couple of weeks too about being in this business, um, and how you find your way, and what about the industry, I mean, for you, keeps you still going. But we were talking about what society says and what ourselves say and how we believe in ourselves, and it was just opened up my mind and made me realize that there is a healing out there and other people like you who focus on that. I mean,
David, I find that as artists, we are the product. Our personal beings, our individuality is marketed,
yeah,
and we are consumed by that identity. Oh, I'm an actor. People look up to me. I'm a professional singer. I've got hit records, and you have an entourage, or your ego is built up because media makes us bigger than life.
yeah,
And if we're not careful, we will buy into that hype. And if our star dims or if it falls, how are we going to navigate that? Or if we never reach a certain height of stardom, that we want to reach? How do we navigate that? And so often we need to be mindful of the fact that our value is intrinsic in who we are. Our value and our worth is about you and who you are emotionally, spiritually, as a person, your kindness. The gift, if you give the gift, is what you do. Now, I know that a lot of our personal feeling has to be utilized to put forth that art. You know, I don't know. I told you I've been in my older years. I've gone to acting class and I'm studying acting now. Yeah. And I, you know, that tuning into those moments of, for example, if I'm doing a scene of pain, I've got to tune into that. So I know I tuned into when I lost my mother. Yeah. So I tune into that and I call on that, you know. So you have to go into those personal moments. Yeah. But you also have to be able to disconnect yourself from that to understand that your self-esteem should never be hampered by what somebody else says about you. You got to know who you are and stay with that, because your value can never be diminished if you're a good person.
How do we as actors, as performers, how do we, when we feel like we've lost our self-esteem or self-respect, how do we take that breath and get it back?
Well, I'll tell you, I have felt that way. I remember I was signed to Motown, and my record was shelved, and I was suicidal. I was like, all my life, all I ever wanted was this. Yeah. And now they shelve it. And there were some wonderful songs. It was a politically based shelving. I know that now, but then I was like, well, what is it? I'm not good enough. I'm not. I just made, you know, my sister and I had this deal, and we just knew, you know, we had finally reached it. Yeah. But what, you know, we were suicidal, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, this record deal does not, you can't determine whether I want to live or die. Right. You know, because there's always tomorrow. And sometimes we just have to be quiet. We have to look at, see, because, you know, media creates this idea of value. And if we don't see it in media, then sometimes we don't see it at all. But if we sit down, who did you, you know, did you help a child today? Did you help an old lady with her groceries? Did you make someone smile? Do you have a loving heart? Who are you? Not what they're constructing you to be, but who are you? That's the question. And we've got to tune in to who we are as people. And so that's what I did. You know, I said, you know what? I need to find out why I'm suffering so much emotionally because of the industry. And that's why I went back to school. I said, well, if I can understand it on an intellectual level, right, then maybe I can navigate this a little better. And then that's when I learned that value is constructed. They tell us what is valuable, and we believe it because we're being told that, and we're being told that, and because we're constantly seeing it, and we're constantly seeing the people get go in the front of the line, and we're seeing the people not having to pay to get in, or, you know, being treated like gold. You know, we're being treated so wonderfully. We're like, oh my God, this is living. You know, this right. is all that. And I just had I just won a Grammy, or I just won an Oscar. So, hey, you know, and then people were hanging around us and leeching on us and everything. But they're really building their own ego. Many of them, not all of them.
Right.
building their own ego by being attached
Mm-hmm.
to people on a certain level.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful about who you're around. You need to be around people that keep you in tune with the truth of who you are and how you are valuable in and of yourself.
Mm.
And I start learning that, and it brought me out of the doom and gloom and the worthlessness feeling. You
Right.
know, I didn't know that reality was constructed, and that media constructs reality and reflects it. And I was just caught up in it. I was caught up in what I thought was valuable. Not, I don't say that it's not valuable to be successful
Yeah.
in what you do,
Yeah.
but I just don't think we are, as artists, we're not prepared to go into this industry emotionally.
Yeah.
If you want to be a doctor, you go to medical school. You
Mm-hmm.
want to be a lawyer, you go to law school. Now you might want to be a singer. Okay, so you might get a vocal coach, or you might, if you want to be an actor, you want to get an acting coach. But this is the only business where you are being sold, and your life is in front of the world. We're not trained to prepare for that on a psychological level.
Yeah. I remember it just brought me up when I was going to San Francisco State. My counselor said, "Are you sure you want to do this?" He says, "Because you have such a good heart." I didn't get what he meant by that. And I'm glad that one of the things that I said to myself when I first got to LA, I said, the one main thing, if I have one thing I have to remember, is to remain true to myself. And
That's it.
what you were saying, and what you were saying too over the last couple of minutes, it really, the next step to, or one of the steps in the process, is being true to yourself. And as artists, whether you are a singer, actor, dancer, you have that special ability to share the love, share the healing,
Yes.
share the positivity, and hopefully that will have a ripple effect upon society.
Yeah, because you know what? David, so many things are happening in our culture that are so sad.
Yeah.
Just like the other day, what happened to all those kids?
Horrible.
What happened in the grocery store where all those people were shot?
Yeah.
What kind of legacy do you want to leave? There are a lot of people who are very successful and they do very positive things.
Yeah.
And I thank God for those people, because they have a certain level of status and they can be influential. But there are a lot of people who are influential and they're not giving anything positive to culture.
Mm-mm.
So that's why I'm saying, yes, it's the healing, like you said. It's the healing. It's the love. It's the understanding. So if you need to talk to somebody, if somebody needs it, like for example, I used to tell my students, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, but if something worries you and you need somebody to listen, I'll listen.
Mm.
And they would come to my office and share with me some of the things they were going through. And you know what? Sometimes I would just give them a hug and say, listen, I can't tell you what to do, but based on my experience and the age I'm at, I can tell you how I feel and what I think might be a good way to approach it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
about the love. Like you said, it's about the love. And the work that you do is very evident that you are about the love. And I'm honored to know you.
Thank you. And ditto. I'm honored to know you. And I was looking through again your bio, and I'm going to throw out a title that I think is a beautiful title, Beautiful Struggle. And that was a show that you were connected with. And the
Beautiful Struggle was, and still it remains a radio show today. It's a
yeah,
community radio station, a progressive station
yeah.
called KPFK 90.7 FM. Are you familiar with it?
I've heard of it. Yes.
It's a Pacifica radio station. I was brought into a collective of academics, maybe 21 years ago or something like that. Telling my age, 21, 22 years ago,
So
by
you're
my
young.
academic mentor.
And you were too.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay, that's nice. Anyway, and we did a progressive show on primarily issues that concerned African Americans, but we expanded. Like I know we did issues on self-esteem.
Yeah.
We did shows about domestic violence, about poverty, about Black and Brown unity. Um, the one on self-esteem was really near and dear to my heart because I know that if you let somebody break your self-esteem, you could go crazy.
Yeah.
People go crazy. Another thing I wanted to say
Yeah.
is that being in that collective with those kind of minds really helped me think in different ways and see different things. And my academic mentor, Dr. Madison, um, wow, she left us a couple years ago, gained her wings, but she elevated my consciousness to a totally different level.
Yeah.
And I am kind of nervous right now because I can see that my computer only has 24% battery and I'm not at home. So I need to try to think of a way I can reconnect with you on another computer. Ooh, Lord.
We'll figure it out.
You gotta figure it out. Let's see if I have on my phone or something.
Oh, on the phone?
I'm trying to figure that out because I don't think it's gonna last for another 30 minutes. Yeah, so yeah, beautiful struggle. I did that show for about 20 years and I got to interview quite a few scholars across the country, even some international scholars about certain issues, and it was a wonderful show. And that the name came from Dr. King about the beautiful struggle. You know, the struggle of it's beautiful. You're struggling, but it's beautiful because you know you're doing it with a purpose, and you're gonna better somebody's life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your biggest joy in life?
My biggest joy. Well, it used to be my mom when she was here.
Yeah.
I think I love young people, and I love old people. I don't have children, so I should tell all my students. I should say, you know, you're my kids.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, I love young people. I love the beach.
Oh,
I love the beach, and I love music.
what is it about the beach?
I feel closer to God. I know God is everywhere. The spirit is everywhere. But when I'm at that water and I can just see the waves and the power of the ocean, there's nothing like it. Nothing like it.
Yeah. It's the sound, you know, I'm feeling myself with the sand between the toes and the sound of the water, and in a way that's music. Just hearing that water roll up and down.
Yes, it is. I mean, the rhythm of the ocean, that's rhythm. That's rhythm. And David, I've got to find another way to reconnect to you. Unfortunately, can I take a pause for the cause briefly just to see if I can get a new connection?
Sure, let's take a pause for the call.
I'll be right back.
We'll take a little break. Thank you. Hey, everyone. Is this amazing? Isn't this amazing? It's so, you know, we talk a lot about, acting or singing or dancing, and we know the process of it and going to classes in school. And it is about the work of yourself to remain solid, to remain true. I see that Christina it had her finger up there. You know, it's so true. while we have Penny working on that, I wanted to see Christina. How do you remain positive and true to yourself? Let me see here. Oops. Let's see. I'm going to bring you on here, Christina.
Right here.
Hey, Christina. How do you remain positive and true to yourself?
I'm doing a paperwork about a college.
Yeah.
And it's so amazing and singing and dancing.
Yeah. And if I was going to ask you right now, what is one thing you love about yourself?
The self about the culture and for it sent me cook.
Uh-huh. And does that keep you happy?
Yes.
Yeah. And it keeps you knowing, this is me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're beautiful.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, Christina.
You're welcome.
Hey, I'm going to ask that question of a few people. Lupe, let's see about you. What is one, and this is the question I'm having right now. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 minute, Lupe. I'm trying to
Okay.
find. Oh, I can hear the family there.
Uh-huh.
I'm seeing there, and I'm gonna go around. Oh, we'll get back. Hold on 1 second, Lupe. We'll get back to you, okay? I think.
Oh no! Let Lupe answer that question. I want to.
Yeah, Lupe.
I want to see what Lupe says.
I know, Lupe. What is it about you? What is one thing you love about yourself?
Singing.
Yeah.
Singing is the singer. The song is Selena.
Well, I have to say, Lupe, don't worry. One thing I love about you is how you exude love and how you have your laughter. And I could just, when I think of love, we should need to hug ourselves. Yes, like that. I think this is, you brought this to me right now, Lupe, in my head, that just by doing this, when you're feeling a little unsure of yourself, or you feel a little not in your core, this can help you. So thank you for that, Lupe.
Okay, David.
Gracias.
Yeah. Gracias.
We have a wonderful family here.
You know what? This is a blessing, and I love that. Like you were saying, just that hugging of yourself. That goes back to what I was talking about. This hugging of yourself and loving who you are, being a kind of person that you can love. You know, a kind person, a good person, a person with love. And you know what? That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I wish I could be there in person and get to meet all of these wonderful people.
When we open up, we would love to have you. We would love to have you. We could bring a few other people up here, like Monique, maybe. Let's see, we'll have Monique come on now. Let's see. Monique.
I want to talk to them.
Oh yeah, Monique. Here we have Penny, Monique.
Hi, Penny.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm fine. Wow. What do you do? What do you like to do?
For me, I love my friends. I love my family. My brother is a lawyer. He's a district attorney. So he's a great district attorney. I love my best friend. I love myself.
All right.
And I'm a singer. I
Okay,
like
yo,
to
you
sing a
you do
lot.
what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to get together and do a duet.
Okay. We could do that. We
Hey,
could do
all
that.
right, David. Hey, we gotta
We could
hook
do
that
that.
up.
I'm a church girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I sing in choirs and stuff like that. And I love myself. Myself is I like to hug people and be there for each other. Like
Yes.
stay away the drama, the issue, the chaos, and just stop. Let it go. Like my mom told me the same thing. She's like, Monique, be your own self, be your own confident. Don't let anybody make you hurt, make you cry, anything. Be your own person. Be you. That's why I tell my friends, be yourself, be you. Don't let anybody steal your joy, your moment. Be your own self. Be your own confident. So
You know what? That's exactly what I was talking about with David a little earlier. So you're saying that, and that's true because just the spirit of your spirit, I could feel your spirit through this computer when you said, I love myself. You said, I love myself. You said it first, then you said it again. I'm like, yeah, that's right, girl. You love yourself.
that's right.
Because if you don't love yourself, how you gonna love somebody else? You gotta love yourself first, you know. And I'm happy to know that, and I really am. I'm not kidding. I do want to come and meet you and maybe sing a few notes with you at some point.
Okay.
I love it.
I love
Okay,
to.
cool.
We'll have to do that.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Thank you,
Yes.
Monique.
Now, who else am I? Who else is there, David?
We've got a bunch of people here. I see waving. Do we see? Oh my goodness! Who are you seeing waving at? Who would you? Sandra? Is that Sandra Singer?
It looks like Eric is waving. Is Miracle waving? Or is that you waving, Miracle? And
Is that Miracle? Okay, we'll get. I tell you what. You saw Miracle. We'll get Miracle. Let me get Miracle up here. Miracle.
And I saw Eric too. So
okay.
Yeah. Hi, Miracle.
Hi. Nice to meet
How
you.
you doing? Nice to meet you, baby.
Blessing.
And so, what do you love to do?
I like singing, dancing. I'm a songwriter.
Oh, you're a songwriter too?
Yes.
And so, let me ask you, where do you pull from when you're writing your songs? What do you think about in order to get those lyrics?
I write on a piece of paper. What I do, I write a song. I sing everywhere on the radio, and I write on a piece of paper, and that's what I do. I had to write piece of paper because I lost my mom because my mom died on December.
Oh, I'm so sorry, baby doll. I know that hurts because even though I was much older when my mom died, I still miss my mom. I'm so sorry. So did you write about your mom? Did you ever write a song about her?
I trying to because I'm trying to sing song 1 in a Million by Aaliyah because I think about her right now. And she always loved Aaliyah because that's her favorite song. Rock the Boat and all of that.
Oh,
yeah.
So you're honoring your mother. You're honoring her.
Yeah, honoring my mom, yes.
And what was her name?
Terry Gaines.
Terry Gaines.
Yeah, that's my mom's last name, Terry Gaines.
Wow.
That's my mom's last name.
Wow, what a beautiful name, Terry Gaines. And I'm sure she's smiling down on you from the heavens. I know she's proud of you.
He showed
and her spirit is watching over you.
That's right. Yeah.
I wish I could give you a hug. I'm gonna give you a spiritual hug. I'm gonna give you a squeeze. Can you see it?
Thank you. Yes,
can you give it back?
See it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So nice to talk to you, baby.
Oh, thank you, Miracle.
You're welcome.
And then you love.
Look at Eric.
Eric, should we get Eric? Eric Chris?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, there's Eric Chris.
Hey, baby, how you doing?
I doing good.
Good. Now, what can
Well,
you share with me about you?
um,
What do
I
you love to do?
I I love myself. I love God. I love my family, and I love to sing. I'm a singer.
Ah, ah, you put them right in order. You love God, you love yourself, you love your family, and you love to sing. You love to express the gift. And you
Yes.
know, when we give our gifts, it touches people. And if we can make one person smile or feel a good inside with our gift, then we've done something wonderful. So I'm sure you do some wonderful things.
And my favorite song from the radio is Chris Brown.
Which one?
Chris Brown, the rapper. Chris Brown, the rapper.
I know who he is, but which song is it that you like?
I like the Loyal.
Loyal. Okay. Are you a loyal person?
Yes.
Good, good. That's wonderful. So maybe I'll get to meet you too, baby. I would love to. And when you first got when they first put you on the screen, I saw you hug yourself, and I was like, I want to hug you too, but I can't. So I'm sending you a spiritual hug too. There it is.
It's a hug
So
fest.
nice to talk to you. Huh?
It's a hug fest.
It's a hug fest. We're spreading the love today, baby.
Oh, I love it. Thank
Like
you.
I'm full of it. I'm exuding love. I'm full of it. I love love. I love to love. I love to hug, and I love to share.
It's true.
So
And
there's some other people got their hands waved.
And you know what,
David?
what you were saying too about the love, it reminded me too that when we get out, when what we give out, we get back. So if we give that in, it's going to ricochet back to us.
That's right.
It's going to
That's
come
right.
back to us.
And it's also, there are times, and I want to make this clear.
Yeah.
Sometimes we give love, and the people that we're giving it to don't have the ability to love us back.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I know.
they might have some kind of trauma, or there could be something in their life that prevents them from loving freely. They may be afraid to love, you know, but to me, there's nothing more beautiful or more powerful than love.
I'm so glad you said that too, because sometimes we feel that, oh, what did I do wrong? What am I, why aren't they loving me back? Did I do something? And it's not about us. It's about their own issues.
Exactly. And we all have issues.
Yeah.
See, none of us are perfect. We all are broken. And the thing is that I've learned is that everybody has a fragile heart.
Yeah.
You know, some people may walk around like they have this armor around them, but down underneath it all, even if it comes out in anger or hatred or fear, it's the tenderness and the fragileness of the heart.
Well, and that's what makes a good artist, a beautiful artist, to have all those different feelings and availability so they can share, and the audience or the people around this planet can relate and say, oh, I'm not alone. I identify with that.
That's right. If you can tune in to them and they can tune into you, you kind of make a connection, a special connection, you know. And you're right, you know, as I was telling you earlier with my new endeavor with the acting.
Yeah.
Being able to feel, I kind of naturally fell into that kind of vibe because I am so sensitive.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's interesting too that you brought up the word sensitive, because sometimes I'm so sensitive about the surroundings, I could actually get physically sick, and like either a bad stomach or something. And then a couple days later, it's this, I know somebody's going through pain. It's like, oh, that's what that was about. How do you if you're sensitive, how do you protect your own self?
Now, that's a deep one, David. I'll be honest with you. That's a deep one because sometimes I don't protect my own self.
Right.
But I pray a lot. I pray a lot. I ask the Great Spirit, the Almighty, to help me. Because there are times when I will cry like a 2-year-old. I mean, I will just break out and cry like a baby.
Yeah.
And I used to think, what's wrong with me? I'm an adult. But then I found out that there is a little girl still there.
Yeah.
I might have lived these years, but that little fragile girl is still there. So sometimes what I have to do is take the mature Penny,
Yeah.
and talk to her and say, okay, you got to take care of the little Penny. But sometimes mentally, I'm capable of rising above it and deal. And sometimes it takes me a little while. Sometimes it may take me a week or two or whatever to get it together, but I'll usually get it together. And a lot of times what I'll do is I will go back and watch TV shows that I watched when I was a little girl. Or I'll listen to songs that I listened to when I was a little girl. And I feel happy. Or I might just go and get me some ice cream. Or something that makes me happy.
Right. Yeah.
But a lot of times I'll just get on my knees and ask for help.
And
and one more thing I want to add is that's why it's important to have good people in your life. But sometimes just talking something through with somebody who's not judging you, but listening to you can be very helpful.
Right. Well, and what you were saying too about crying, why am I crying? I mean, if the universe didn't give us the ability to cry, I mean, there are reasons why we have to let it out. And a lot of times I find when I cry, it's because of happiness. And then there's the sadness but we have to remember, why am I crying? Oh yeah, this is for a happy reason. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing at all. And going back to, as we said, I taught for 16 years, and my what I taught and what I focused in the media was identity construction. Who are we as a man, as a woman, as a straight person, as a gay person, as a disabled person, as a Black person? What does that mean? Other than the fact that we're just a beautiful individual.
Yeah.
That's exactly who we are, and that's great regardless of what it is.
Yeah.
And how culture describes that, how culture tells us, well, you're this if you're that. Well, you can't do this if you're that, and you can't do that if you're this, Being a man in our culture often says, you can't cry. And a lot of little boys will cry. They'll say, stop that crying. Little boys don't cry. They try to construct a man to not be sensitive or not be fragile. And that's crazy. Men have tear ducts too. And if you feel the need to cry, it's good to cry because it lets out toxins and it releases stress.
Because if you keep it inside, that's what makes you sick.
That's what makes you sick. That's exactly right. So that's another reason why I like you.
What?
You know it's okay to cry.
Oh my gosh. Well, I guess we could chat with a few more. We have a couple more minutes.
Why not? We got some other hands raised.
Let's see, I see Lanzarod. Let's see Lanzarod. Lanzarod record.
Hey, David.
Hey, Lanzarod.
Lanzarod, hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Good. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I love myself.
You love yourself. That's number one.
And I love the Lord.
You love the Lord.
I read
Now
my
that's
Bible
really
every
number one,
single
but
day.
flip it around. Go ahead.
I love read my Bible every day.
All right.
And I went to church
Okay.
like every day, like Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I
Mm-hmm.
was singing in a adult choir now.
Oh, you
I was,
do?
yeah, I was baptized already. And
Whoa.
I just pray to God to head in my life. God is so good to me. God gave me a voice, a sweet
Oh,
voice.
what
You
a
know,
blessing.
it's a God's blessing. You got to give and not to give. I got to give back to your Lord, and He will do the work.
Mm.
You know, um, I run it. I sang.
Mm.
I sang Michael Jackson song. I
Oh, okay. What's your favorite one?
all of them. He got hundreds
All of
of
them.
them,
Okay.
and he's a good spirit,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
I'm so glad that you took some time to speak with me today.
yeah,
I
Thank,
thank you so much.
thank you,
yeah.
And
Lanzarote.
when I come over there, when you guys go live again, I got a whole bunch of people to hug, honey. I want to get my hugs on.
It's gonna be the hug on. It's
It's
gonna.
gonna be the hug on day when I come, baby. You know what, David? I've got a bunch of messages in the chat.
Yes.
Uh, let me see. Julian, is Julian there?
Julian, we'll get Julian. Here's
Do
Julian.
you get your words heard when you act and you pitch an idea?
Mm-hmm.
Is that where are you? Where's
Yeah,
Julian? Right
that was
there?
my question. That was my question to you, Denise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me say this. My real name, my legal name is Denise, but all of my people call me
Mm-hmm.
Penny because when I was a little girl, my grandfather said I wasn't worth a nickel. So he was teasing. He was
Oh,
teasing.
good.
He was teasing. So everybody calls me Penny. So
you
I
know,
just wanted to share that with Julian.
you know what's interesting about that? Thank you, Julian.
Hmm?
What's interesting about that? The first thing, and I think it's the way we're programmed, is you're not worth a nickel, so they call you Penny. But it's like when I say you're not worth a nickel, you're worth 1,000 pennies. You're worth more than a nickel. You're worth, So it's that.
Well, you said I was only worth 1,000 pennies. Come on now, what does that add up to be?
1,000,000 quadrillion pennies, baby.
Ah! All righty then. And then so Julian was saying, I love myself. I write how I feel. And then I think he said, people don't do meditations. It's good to meditate, to be quiet, and to pray to God. That's right. I agree with you. And you want to become a father. Is that what you said? Did you say that?
Yeah. Yeah. To see how it feels. Become one.
So one day you want to have children.
Yeah.
That would be nice. Sometimes I get sad that I didn't have children because I love young people so much, and man, I hope that you're blessed to be able to experience that one day.
Yeah. So I can teach one of my kids how life is.
How life
Well,
is.
And how to grow.
I'm glad that you shared with me what's on your mind today. So thank you for raising your hand and spending a couple moments with me.
Thank you to me.
You're welcome, baby. Now, who is this? Devon Morgan says, I pray too. and I love you. Oh, where's Devon?
Devon, where are you? There's Devon.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, baby. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. Nice to finally see you.
Good. Huh?
I said, nice to finally see you. I'm doing fabulous.
Well, you look fabulous. What's going on? Tell me a little bit about you. I have a few more minutes.
Well,
then I've got to get out of here. But
well, for me, I do pray a lot, and I grew up in church with my mom and dad. You know, we're a Christian family, and I like to help inspire others to be on the righteous path. I don't want to see them go to hell or whatever. I want to help them be better people, like to be on the righteous path. You got to have a positive mindset. And that's what I want everybody to have. Like, I don't want to hear people talking down about each other or none of that. I just want people to just live happy, you know, live a fabulous life. Just be who you are and just, I feel like I can
you know what? You've inspired me just by listening to what you have to say, because so many people are so busy thinking about themselves. But you just talked about what you want for others, and that warms my heart so much. And I'm proud to know you, and I pray that you're able to be blessed enough to influence people into the direction that you would see would be helpful to them in their life and their faith.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing with me today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Give me a hug. Hug fast, hug it out. All right, baby. I'll see you soon one day, hopefully. Bye-bye, honey.
You know, and talking about the faith, whatever the faith is, you know, if it comes from that true place, a true place of love, you know, that's, you know, if I have to look, I grew up Jewish and I had my bar mitzvah and this and that. And I think the true religion for me is love, because it connects everyone.
You know, I agree 100%. And I think, and I have a deep issue with people who judge other people because they have a different faith. I mean, I grew up Christian. My grandfather was a Baptist minister. And that's my background. But I can't judge somebody else who grew up differently than I did, you know. And I really, I don't stand in judge. Well, you know, the Bible says, judge not, lest ye be judged. So I don't judge anybody else. All I try to do is what the young man that I just spoke to said,
Devon.
is to help Devon, is to help lift someone if I can. If I can, I do that. Yeah.
What do you want the most at this moment in your life?
That's a deep question. David, you asked some deep questions, but I want to be able to give as much as I can to uplift and inspire and bless people with my presence in my winter years. When I die, you know, I just had my 70th birthday Sunday.
Happy birthday.
So I'm in my winter years. And I want to be able to, in the rest of the years that I have, is to make an impact on the world, to touch lives, and to be able to give love and of course I want to do my work. I want to be able to do my music, and I want to be able to do my acting. I truly would like to do some acting, and I think I can do that. But even in the giving of the gift, I wanted to bless and uplift and inspire. That's what I want.
Penni Wilson, thank you so much. You're a blessing.
You know what? I got some little tears that want to come down my eyes. But you asked me to go so deep within. I want to say to all of the people on here, I didn't get a chance to answer all your questions. Mark, you said what was my best job? I love teaching. That was my best job. I love this interview. I love all of you. I bless all of you, and I look forward to seeing all of you. And I hope that all of you are able to have your dreams come true. Thank you so much, David.
Thank you, Penni.